Here you are. What's going on, lovebirds? Welcome to this week's episode in Love and More. It is me, the HBIC, the Queen Bee, the Kate Murphy. You can find me on Instagram at the Kate Murphy. You can find me on Twitter at the Kate Murphy _. And joining me each and every week is my fabulous co-host, King Rickie Rozay. What's going on?
I haven't had this belt on in a while, and I'm just admiring it. This is like my this is like my favorite belt ever. Like when I was growing up, this is like the Attitude Era Championship belt. So
It's
the belt
it's super shiny. Did you just polish it?
No, I just haven't taken it out of its casing for a while, and that's how you avoid ever polishing anything.
It's pristine.
It is very pristine. I bought this at SummerSlam like 2 years ago. Oh no, and that was the Royal Bank of Rozay weekend, where
I remember that.
Where money was not an option, and I just went nuts. It was great.
I feel didn't you spend like $1,000 or some bullshit on merch and wrestling?
I think it's close to 7.
Okay, not as
something
bad.
Like that. But like that's when I bought like the Money in the Bank briefcase and a bunch of other random stuff.
I forgot you bought the briefcase.
I know, it's great. I haven't found a way to like use it. I should start using it as like a work thing. It'd be so hysterical.
You should. I still want to get the 24/7 title.
You want to get it?
Well, I want to get the toy one.
You don't want to spend.
I don't want to spend the money, and I can bring the toy out publicly, and battle for it.
It's true. My next belt is going to be, and I'll tell you right now, it's when I go to Tampa, I'm actually going to get the current World Heavyweight title, not the Blue Universal title, and not the Red Universal one.
The black one?
The black one, yes.
That sounds clean.
And then after that is going, my next one, which I don't know when it's going to be, maybe Survivor Series, maybe Rumble, will be the European title. Is next in line.
It's excellent. I almost fainted when I saw the UK title fucking at Evolve. That's the title I want badly.
But
not
even the women's?
The European, the UK titles, I think are the best looking titles in WWE. And I've always said if I ever get married, I want to get the UK tag titles.
The NXT tag titles are lookers as well.
Yeah, but the UK ones just have that extra joie de vivre that I just require.
I guess. I don't know. So let's get into today's episode. So I guess I'm leading this episode.
You didn't plug your shit.
Oh, yeah. What's
going on?
You
just talked about your belt.
I'm sorry. I mean, if you know me, you know.
You and your belt, King Rickie Rozay.
Find me in the parking lot of a diner. No. Find me. What? It's where.
Scandal?
Where else am I going to park my car? My goodness. No. Find me at Ambassador Biggs, BIGZ, Ambassador Biggs, across all social media outlets. That means Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, especially. Yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Alrighty. So this week, you want to guess what we're talking about today?
I mean, we did the first date, and then we did the first date again, kind of.
Well, we had to do our first date and introduce Patreon to us in our shit show. And then we talk about our first dates. So this week, we're going to continue on discussing first and talk about first kisses.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing it back middle school style, at least for me anyway.
For you, it was middle school. Okay, mine was a little bit at an older age.
Who's going? You want to go first?
You'll go first, actually.
I'm going first?
Mm-hmm.
So I technically have 2 first kiss stories.
How so?
Okay.
I'm talking like the first
both kiss. Ever.
Yeah.
So both of them were with the same guy. I was dating this boy named Brian Cook in, what grade was I in? 7th grade going to 8th grade.
Okay.
We dated for a month and a half.
Cute.
We started dating at the carnival. You know the carnival in Levittown behind Division Avenue?
Yes.
It's usually that carnival.
Mm-hmm.
So it was that carnival. Our friends made us go on the Ferris wheel together, and that's how we came off the Ferris wheel a couple, dead ass. That's how it worked in 2004.
Yes, actually, that is how it works.
That's exactly how it worked. Your friends made you go somewhere with someone you could be interested in or someone they think you have the potential to be interested in. They force you in a situation together, and by the end of it, you end up in a relationship.
If only it were that easy.
It's not that fucking easy now, and it's annoying. Now I have to go online and put on bronzer, and it's annoying. I'm not into it.
And deny your natural loves for other people. It's all right.
So, this boy Brian Cook was my boyfriend for about a month and a half. But in middle school, I was very like shy and prudish, and the idea of kissing anybody freaked me out. And I like was not ready. I was weird and shy and afraid. Like I had other boyfriends in middle school, but I wouldn't kiss them.
Weren't you just like pimping around middle school?
I was pimping around middle school, but like the first couple of pimp hoes I had in middle school, I didn't even kiss because I was too shy to kiss them. So I just held their hand and shit.
I mean, holding hands is a big step too.
Yeah, I don't know. I was nervous. I was always nervous about kissing, and I always wanted this like. Did you ever see Princess Diaries?
No.
So in the Princess Diaries, they talk about like your first kiss has to be something like special, and when it's like a real kiss, the girls like foot pops. You know what I mean?
They flip pops?
The foot pops. So
their foot comes up. Okay.
Yes. So all I wanted in middle school was like my foot popping kiss. So like I was afraid.
But like you have to do that on your own.
Like again, I was 12. I was 12 years old. Like, so my friends were all like, we were dating for like 2.5 weeks, and my friends were giving me shit that I still hadn't kissed him yet. They're like, come on, like. Mm-hmm. He's in your AIM profile. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's serious.
Your AIM profile.
His initial. So, another testament to being in a successful middle school relationship in the early 2000s is you put your partner's initials and the date you guys started going out on your profile.
Oh, I went through high school too well, for me at least.
Yeah, I had AIM I used all throughout middle school and high school, not as much because Facebook kind of took over at the end of high school, but I had AIM all throughout middle school and high school, but I really felt succeeded the most in middle school.
Now, was he also on your top 8 on MySpace?
I didn't have a MySpace yet. This was right before MySpace.
Ooh, okay. The
top
8 feature wasn't there yet.
I didn't even have a MySpace yet. I made a MySpace in 8th grade. This was like going into 8th grade, so like I was like a few months away.
Yeah.
So I had this friend, Carol Ann. She was one of my best friends in middle school. So she had her grandparents lived on the same block as her mom's house. So her grandparents had a pool. So Carol Ann's grandma would let us come over and swim. So one day it was like me, Carol Ann, Brian, and like a few of our other friends like were hanging out swimming, and they all were like, you should kiss Katie. Because everyone called me Katie, by the way. That's another fun.
I mean,
I was Katie.
Do you like to be called Katie?
I do, but I'm only really called Katie by like my family, by my friends from Levittown, and then old people.
Okay.
Old people always call me Katie, and I don't know why, and I don't hate it, but it just, I don't know. Now it's weird. I don't like go by Katie right away. If someone says Katie, I don't naturally look up right away.
Oh, you're not used to it anymore.
Yeah. So they're like, you should kiss Katie, you should kiss Katie, you should kiss Katie. So I just remember I was like floating on a raft. Like I was just straight chilling. I was on a raft and Brian was like swimming and he like ends up like next to me and shit. Like he was in the water and I was like in fucking Titanic.
Oh, like, and you didn't give up your space for him, did you?
I couldn't fit him. So
okay, Rose, you couldn't fit him. That's bullshit. Science has proved
but
otherwise.
He pops up and he just like surprised me and just like kisses me and I flipped the fuck out and started cursing him out.
Wow.
Because I wasn't like expecting it and my foot obviously didn't pop. I was in a fucking raft, unprepared, wasn't romantic. My friends like made him do it and I was mad at him, like legitimately mad.
Wow.
Later that night.
Way to ruin the moment.
Yeah, I do that. It's kind of like something I'm really good at. So fast forward a few hours later, we are now out of the pool. We go back to Carol Ann's, and we are in her bedroom. And at this point, Brian's the only boy left. All our guy friends left, but Brian was like still hanging out. So because the girls and I were gonna have a sleepover, and then Brian was gonna go home like soon. So we were like, I guess waiting for his mom to pick him up. So we found Pretty Pretty Princess under her twin sister's bed, and we're like, oh my god, we should play Pretty Pretty Princess. It'll be fun to put earrings and shit on Brian. Wow. I don't know why we thought this would be funny, but we played Pretty Pretty Princess with Brian. He won. And we kissed. I forgot what inspired us to kiss, but we kissed during Pretty Pretty Princess. And I was like cool about it. Like
Oh,
we
you were a lot more calmer about this
well, no,
time?
we had established that like we were gonna kiss because like I like apologized after yelling at him because I felt like a dick because I was being dramatic.
Mm.
So like I wanted to like redo it. So like I'm like I want to kiss you. I'm like I'm just fucking nervous. So I'm like just give me time. And then I think he won, and then I kissed him or some shit, or we kissed afterwards. And then his mom picks him up, and I turned into like a teenage girl, and I was blasting "She Will Be Loved" by Maroon 5 and dancing around with.
Oh my God.
And that was the summer that song came out, so like it was mad topical.
My goodness.
And I remember writing because we used to write on her bedroom wall, so I remember writing our initials and our date and shit on her fucking wall.
My God.
I dumped him 2 weeks later.
Why?
I don't know. I like started feeling like weird, and I couldn't place what it was. Like I didn't feel like any like oomph towards him any like at all. Like I like again, I was 12.
Yeah.
But like I didn't feel like in middle school terms, I didn't feel like I liked him anymore.
You just liked them.
Yeah, but like what was annoying?
Hey, Arnold.
I wanted to break up with him, but him and his family were on vacation in like Lake George or some shit. So and this was no cell phone, so it's not like I could like text him or FaceTime him. Like I had to wait for him to come home.
Could you imagine if you did and you like ruined his vacation?
Yeah, I was afraid of doing that, but like I called him like the night he came home. Like and I had never like broken up with anybody before, so I was fucking nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So I had my friends with me. I was in my friend Susie's bedroom. We call him, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like you anymore. Like I want to break up. And then there was a rumor started on AIM that I turned him gay.
What is he gay now?
No, he's about to get married to this girl he's been dating for like since like the end of middle school.
So you essentially were the girl right before his wife.
More or less, yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, that became the beginning of a string of lots of good luck Chuck moments.
We can do a bunch of good luck Chuck episodes. I have a ton. And an absolute ton. Not I was going to say tongue, but it's an absolute ton of good luck Chuck episodes and stories and vignettes, I guess we'll call them at this point in time. So that's a weird double kiss story. So here's my question. Did you ever get your foot popping moment?
Yes.
But it wasn't with Brian.
No. I have had 2 foot popping moments.
Like, and this is when how do you get to a foot popping moment? Like, does the foot pop naturally? Like, I don't get this.
It just happens. Like
I don't understand.
I like how do I articulate this? Because this seems so natural to me because it just happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when everything's right and the person's right and the situation's right and like like in the movies and shit, like the fucking fireworks are going off and the dramatic music and shit is playing.
I mean, shit that doesn't always happen in real life or ever.
Yeah, but when all that shit happens in your head. When even though it's not happening around you, like you could be in a fucking crack house, but the fireworks could still be going off in your head. The dramatic music could be playing, and your foot's gonna pop. That's just what happens.
Okay.
It's just this weird, like, natural feeling that I can't really explain well. It just when it happens, it happens.
It's got to be more of a femme thing than.
Yeah, I've never seen a dude's foot pop.
Unless
or not like a masculine person's foot pop.
Or unless it's for like a joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've seen it in a lot of like sitcoms and stuff where they'll do it and it's like really funny.
Yeah. But like when it like genuinely happens, it's very special.
Oh, I don't think I've ever experienced such a moment.
No. I'm sure there's a male equivalent of like a foot popping during kiss.
No.
No.
No. Not that I can remember. Yeah, no, we don't. Our bodies don't really move or pop or anything like that. Or yeah, no.
Speaking of popping and moving,
yeah, your vibrator keeps going off.
No, Slack just commented in the Patreon chat. Hi, Slack, you're in the Patreon now. You can
Yes.
see this.
Yes, he can. I mean, he can't.
Yay!
Means you can't talk bad about him anymore, Kate.
What do you mean? It's not just me.
What are you saying? It's me? Obviously not.
I'm saying it's a collective. We are the
Uh
Nightmare Collective for Slack.
huh. I guess. I guess. Oh my God.
God, it's not even. Okay, it's about AEW. Turning my phone away from AEW right now.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Smart move. Ooh, this XFL game's going really well. By the way, shout out to the XFL for staying alive.
I was watching it in the bar last night.
Isn't it so much fun to watch? I'm
Yeah,
thinking
but
about.
then the band started and I had to like stop watching it.
I'm thinking about going to the game next Saturday.
Ooh, who do they play?
Houston, the best team in the league.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I almost said AEW. I haven't watched XFL since like opening weekends, and then I caught part of the New York game yesterday. But that was because it was on at the bar I was at.
Yeah, no, they won. It was a really good game. So then they're undefeated at home. So I'm looking for this to be pretty decent. Great throw, Tamu. Sorry.
That's
Anyway,
exciting.
we were talking about kisses and first kisses, so I have to probably obviously tell you about mine. And my first kiss story is kind of a setup because this is how I acquired my one and only girlfriend ever. So this is actually the story, and it actually ends with the first kiss.
Oh my
So
god, that's so Hallmark. I love it.
oh, shut up. Oh. So here's what happened. So I don't know what led to what. It was one of those things where like I went to a relatively small private school where everybody knows everybody, but I had never known or seen her before at all.
Was
Which
she a
is
new student?
no. She had been there for a while, but it just like I guess our paths or whatever didn't cross for some reason.
Okay, I get that.
It was really weird, but it was like I was pretty well known. I knew everybody. Even though I was a sophomore, I was social butterfly, I guess. Um, and I remember somehow like I friended her on MySpace. It's when MySpace was a thing, and that's how we started like kind of talking really. But we didn't
Hmm.
really talk so when like I inquired about her to one of my friends in her grade, Josh. Wherever Josh Snyder is, shout out to that kid. That kid was great and a riot, and I wish him all the best, whatever he's doing. Um, and he's like, "Yo, you should." I was like, "What do you think about this Julie girl? Her name is Julie, or Juliana Ubella. She's Latvian. Um,
Ooh.
her family's from Latvia. Um, and so I was like, "What do you think about this Julie girl? Like, I've never heard of her." He's like, "Yo, dude, totally talk to her. She's funny as fuck, dude." It was just total how Josh, and Josh is your stereotypical like emo skater boy kid, like out of control. So here's a funny story. So I end up. It's the day after my birthday. I remember this vividly. It's the day after my birthday, and it was a snow day because that's when we had winter and global warming didn't exist.
I was
Uh,
thinking about that this morning. We didn't get snow this winter.
it's it's still winter for another 11 days. Okay,
It's fucking spring. My bedroom window's open and my curtains are up. It's spring.
that's what she said. Anywho, even though
Whoo!
it's really
It's
disgusting
happening.
visual. So we're talking or what have you, um on this snow day, and we're talking like all day, like we really like hit it off. And I don't even remember what we were talking about. We were just talking about like everything under the sun. Like it was just like an automatic click, and everything. And then the next day, I ended up actually noticing her for the first time. It was one of those weird moments where like I was by my locker room and she walked past and I finally figured out who she was.
Okay.
And so you kind of have this like I kind of have this like whoa like I'm Keanu Reeves moment where like she kind of like
You're
like
breathtaking.
yeah, kind of one of those things. And like it's like she's walking past you and like everything's blurred out, but she's like in like definition.
Oh.
Oh, shut up.
No,
Um,
that's really cute.
so I don't have emotions. So so
Okay.
so that happens, and then like we really get to talking, and we actually see each other first time. We're chatting and all this stuff, and at one point within that week, I was like, this is like I'm just gonna like shoot my shot and go for it. Like, it wasn't like a waiting period or anything. Mind you, I'm 16
Mm-hmm.
at this time. So I'm like me and relationships weren't obviously going well. I'm the popular kid, but I'm not the relationship kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I didn't fit that stereotype. I'm like, the Burger King on the social totem pole, but I'm not the one people get into relationships with.
Yeah.
And then so for me, it was kind of a thing like I really wanted to experience, obviously a relationship, and like I had never been kissed, and all of that stuff. And now I think of like the Drew Barrymore movie.
I was just gonna say, have you seen Never Been Kissed?
Yes, I have. I wasn't that weird or bad. So I was like, all right. I was like, I want to ask this girl out to be my girlfriend. I'm gonna shoot my shot. I want to do it in a creative way. So this is how I did it. So this is back in like obviously early 2000s when people would like burn CDs. Remember like just burn CDs?
My very first boyfriend in 7th grade burned me a mixed CD of all of Good Charlotte's love songs.
That I didn't do.
That was the same boyfriend that broke up with me for being too obsessed with Good Charlotte. The day before the Good Charlotte concert. So.
Yeah. Well,
Isn't that the most emo shit you've ever heard?
Yes. So around that time, this is when 50 Cent's second album came out, The Massacre. And so me and
Candy Shop?
that was on the album, yes.
2005. That was my dance jam. That was my...
Yes, it was 2005 when the
That was
story
my dance song in 2005 at school dances.
It's 2005 when the story occurs. So I had what happened? My friend Nate, who was like 2 or so years older than me, or it was either Nate or Aaron, one of those jamokes. Aaron ended up becoming a rapper, and he's rapping somewhere and doing his own production stuff.
A good rap?
I haven't really listened to Aaron stuff in a long time, so I couldn't tell you. But it was either Aaron or Nate. We're selling like burned bootleg copies of 50 Cent's The Massacre. And I was like, perfect. This is how I'm gonna do it. So I bought her a copy, or even I made the copy myself. And that's back when, obviously, if you were making burn CDs, you had a crap ton of jewel cases around. So I made my own jewel case. Okay. Not I made my own jewel case, but I put like
the album artwork in the liner notes. You did it.
No, even worse. I just like hand wrote like 50 Cent's The Massacre on it or whatever. But on the inside cover, instead of putting the track pages, I wrote "Would You Be My Girlfriend?"
That's so fucking cute.
Oh please. It was a different time in my life.
It was a different time in general. No one would do that in 2020.
Yeah, so this is my creative way to do it. So we like tensions have been high between us, like in a good way. Like, and I didn't know if either of us were gonna make the first move. So here's what ends up happening. It is March 7th, 2005. I remember the day because
yesterday was March 7th.
I remember one, it was yesterday, and two, I always remember the date. I always remember the date because it was odd numbers in sequential order, except not. They were backwards.
Oh, 375. Got you.
That's how I remember the date. So it's right before, I think, first lunch. Yeah, it's right before first lunch. I have this CD. I'm waiting for her by her locker, or what have you. And I totally forgot a moment about when I knew I was going to have her be my girlfriend.
What happens in the moment?
No, I totally forgot a moment. So let's backtrack before the CD happens. So what ends up happening is I don't remember what was going on, but I was with her by her locker, and we locked eyes for the first time. And this is probably the closest thing to a foot popping moment. I locked eyes with her, and then everything stopped. It was one of those, like, everything stopped. I didn't hear anything.
I know that moment.
Yeah. Like, I didn't.
I'm deceased. It's like a whole nother person's in front of me.
This is why I don't talk.
That's why you get paid to listen to everybody else's shit, but not here.
It's a well-crafted strategy of life that I go through. So yeah, so like the moment's on, I can still see the moment because I can still see her eyes in that moment. Because that's the only thing I can remember. I remember looking down at her. Remember looking down at her and her looking up at me, and that's when I was like, oh my god, like this is something. So when I was like, all right, I've got to make this move. Like I'm shooting this shot, here's what we're gonna do. So I do the CD thing. It's about like a week or so later. It's 375. Um, I'm waiting for her at her lockers. At this point, we had just memorized each other's schedules, and I knew what she was doing, and then she knew what I was doing. So I'm waiting for her at her locker. She goes. She sees me, and she's coming up to me, and she goes, "Hey," and I was like, "Hi," except I never got a hi out because she grabbed me and kissed me.
Oh, oh, that's so cute. That's so much better than my pretty pretty princess raft bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't draw makeup on my on my future person. So then, yeah, no, she kissed me pretty passionately, actually, and I was like, whoa. And she looked at me, she was like, shit happens. And then so like I was like, oh yeah, I got you this 50 cent CD that you want. She's like, oh my god, thank you. And then like she was about to put it in like her backpack, and I'm like panicking because I like now I like need
Because
to
she has to
know.
open it.
Yeah. Because now I need to know my answer. Like I can't be left on such a cliffhanger right before lunch.
That's how anxiety was developed.
Yeah, right. And I was like, like I wrote the tracks inside of the case for you, or some bullshit like
You
that.
should have just been like, open it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that simple. So then she opened it, and then she looked at it. She looked up at me with a giant smile and said yes, and that's how we became. That's how we got into a relationship.
Do you see my face right now?
Are
That's
you about
so
to? Are you gonna
wholesome.
cry?
Not quite, but that's so wholesome in middle school, and I missed 2005.
Yeah, and that was 16. Yeah, 16 was my first kiss.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was a interesting time in life. 2 months later, caveat, and we'll go into this in much more detail. Um, which we'll have to do a break. Will be like the first breakup story. Um, which 2 and a half or so months later is when we officially broke up because she confessed to cheating on me.
Yeah, that's a mood.
Oh, ho, ho,
Yeah, my
ho.
first like real breakup involves cheating too.
That's gonna be a real dark episode.
Yeah.
By the way, that is gonna be a bit of a doozy of an episode, but that is the ending of that relationship for of us being officially something, as then there was a lot of after effects that occurred that really molded the rest of high school.
What do you mean?
Well, there's things that well, I met one of my best friends in life through her.
Okay.
Just really fun. That happened post breakup. Um, and then I ended up. It got to the point where we were in a good place, and like we were still good friends and stuff. Um, and she was going to be my date for my senior prom.
Oh.
Spoiler alert! I went stag.
Yeah, that's why I went, oh.
Well, and I had a great time. And I also spent a lot less money than everybody else.
Because you didn't have a date?
hmm
What do you have to buy if you have a date? I had dates to prom.
Yeah, you probably didn't buy shit.
Like
That,
what? What
um,
would I have to buy?
well, you have to buy the dress, but then like they buy like.
Obviously I paid for my dress. So my
hmm
senior prom, I wore a $32 dress from Forever 21. I used
Nice,
I used my prom shoes from the year before.
nice.
My nails, I did, those like shitty glue on French manicure.
Yeah.
Like, I did those myself, and they fell off by the end of the night.
Wow.
My makeup I did myself. I think my
Really?
hair is, yeah, I did my makeup myself. And my hair is the only thing I paid money for. And
Way
I
to keep it
chopped my
simple.
hair off the week before senior prom.
Wow.
No, it was a bad move. It was like a hormonal, like, I'm sad and dramatic. I'm gonna
Yeah.
cut my hair after I spent the whole year growing my hair out for senior prom.
Jeez.
So I had my hair was a little longer than it is now, and I had them curl, and it looked like fucking Shirley Temple.
Yeah, for prom usually it's the male that's like buying like the prom tickets and covering a lot of the other like expenses where it'd be like, oh, if you stay at a hotel afterwards or even like the limo expense and all of that shit. A lot of people I went with were like really good friends of mine, but they were all kind of coupled up. So, and I was cool with all of them. And there was actually, it was really funny, which I'll get into the story because I'll probably get into the story afterwards. We can do a whole series about me and Yules and that. Ooh, my God, everything that occurred with that. But there was even contention between my friends if I should even bring her. I remember my friend Diana saying once, as we were all at Olive Garden, which is random. We all ate at Olive Garden. Like we had this whole group. This is back when we all had cars, like senior year, and so we're like, let's go to Olive Garden and eat. So
I've been at Olive Garden like 10 years.
And I remember bringing up the idea of her and and my friend Diana, and shout out to Baby D wherever she's at. She's a sweetheart, at heart. She looked at me. She goes, "If you want her to look presentable, you won't bring her."
It's a shade of it all.
Yeah, she was very protective. she was very, very protective a lot of the time. So it was pretty crazy time. But that is the story of my first kiss. And then everything else after that is a Shakespearean tragedy. So here's my question for you.
Sure.
Did your first kiss live up to all of the hype?
No. Not at all.
I think for me, it was. I don't know if I could imagine the perfect scenario. And this was far from perfect. It was unexpected, but I think the first time was okay to be unexpected.
Yeah, I think that's like in like retrospect, I think a surprise is like a good first kiss. Currently, yeah. I have too much anxiety for that, but in practice, I think it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like there's an art form to kissing? Like, let's break down the whole kissing. I mean, we talked about first kiss.
I think I like it more now as an adult than I did like when I was a kid.
Why is that?
I think it means more now. Like, I feel like society and like love and dating and stuff has evolved or devolved rather in such a way that it is more expected to fuck someone and less like more unheard of to kiss them. Like, oh, you kissed him, like,
So you're saying like now it's becoming a more truer form of intimacy.
Yeah, like kissing is something you do with your partner. Like it's different if you're like sleeping with somebody and like you make out, like that's different. I'm talking about like if you just like kiss them.
So you're saying there's a difference between a kiss and a makeout then?
1,000%. Complete different.
What's the difference then?
Making out doesn't necessarily have to have feeling behind it. Like it
doesn't
can come
inherently?
I mean, it can come from either a really carnal place where it's just primal, or it can come from like legit passion and feelings and shit. It's like it can go either way. Whereas just like a regular kiss, there is an intimacy behind that. And it also depends on where somebody's kissing you too. Like if someone kisses you on the forehead, that fucker loves you. That's some god tier shit.
Some god tier.
It is. Forehead kisses are mad underrated, and they're amazing.
Okay, but, so, I mean, I get that. All right, so, so let's do this. Describe the perfect kiss scenario for yourself.
I
feel like I know mine.
I had mine.
You had yours already.
Mm-hmm.
Was this a foot popping moment or not?
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened? What is it?
Somebody I was dating, was playing a show, and
what's he now?
Mm-hmm.
Is he phenomenal?
Yeah. So they were playing at a venue where there was like a legit stage, but you could like easily like come off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if like your instrument is like connected wirelessly, you can kind of like move around the venue and shit. So this particular bar, I've seen like hardcore bands like jump up on the physical bar, like people run around this place. So it's not out of the ordinary. He and this was like a middle school fantasy I've always had in my head that I had never told like him or like anybody about too.
Okay.
Like a little emo. So he jumps off of the stage, and he's in the middle of like a solo, and I'm just like standing there, and out of nowhere, like while he's playing it, he just starts like kissing me.
What?
And my foot fucking popped.
Like middle of a performance?
While playing. Full on kissing me.
Wow.
Yeah. I like can't breathe talking about it. Like it's just like whew.
Breathtaking moment. Holy shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, did you know you were gonna do that? He goes, no. He's like, I looked at you and I had to.
Yeah, it's the eyes sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes give it away.
And what's funny is I have not seen pictures of that moment.
I've seen pictures of the moment.
There are pictures from that show.
But not from that moment.
Not from that specific moment. There's one from like us kissing like later in the night that's like really like pretty and like artsy and shit that like a photographer happened to take, and then we got tagged in it like a while later.
Yeah.
And then there's one promo of like him playing, and like you can see me like in the background. You can just see my stupid like I was also drunk as shit too. You could just see my stupid like lovesick face, just like oh I love you. Like and moments before it happened, like moments before.
Nice.
And since that, like nothing's really like lived up.
Too bad kiss.
No.
Okay, fair. So you had your like perfect moment. I don't think I've had my perfect moment. Like I can see the scenario right now in my head of what the perfect moment would be. It's not in front of anybody actually. It's nighttime because I usually am alive in the nighttime.
It's more romantic anyway.
Sure, it's nighttime. It's a clear sky. I don't know where I'm at, but I'm somewhere where I can see the stars. I'm on a balcony. And as I'm thinking about this, like as I'm creating the scenario, I'm on a balcony. Who knows what I'm wearing? Probably something a little bit more upscale to keep with the king persona. And
I'm imagining the balcony from Moulin Rouge, honestly.
Maybe. She comes in. There's a flower in her hair. Her hair's long. She's wearing a really nice dress because I like dresses, and sundress season is like right around the corner.
I can't wait. I love sundress season.
You like sundress season. Sundress season is the best season.
It is.
For everybody. Which it used to be peasant skirt season. I remember peasant skirt season.
I love peasant skirts. They're great.
So she comes up beside me. We're locked in each other's arms. We kind of are looking at the stars. We're talking a little bit. And then we turn to each other. We lock eyes. And then it just happens.
Oh, that's like simple and understated, but really nice and romantic.
Under the moonlight.
See, you have feelings.
Please.
Yeah, you have feelings.
I can depict a good scenario. Doesn't mean I have feelings.
You got feels.
It means I
Go
can
listen to Dashboard Confessional, you emo.
I'd rather listen to Nipsey Hussle.
Dashboard's good.
And DJ Khaled. But yeah, so it's oh, I got one. Oh. I got one for you. All right. You identify the best kisser you've ever had. Who's like your number one, like, wow, that was fucking phenomenal. I do that all day. And like I would kiss them all day and tomorrow and probably even yesterday too. No matter like this is the cream of the crop, like best kisser that you've ever had.
Same person.
And so, all right, so the same person, it's the best kiss you've ever had. The same person gave you this ridiculous moment, and you're not dating this person?
No.
Why not?
Because we're not.
Go ahead, smoke the weed pen a little more.
This is the second time this week I want to hide in my hoodie.
Fine. We'll leave it at that. The best kisser ever actually was um was someone that I never dated, although I wanted to. But
Ah,
I screwed that up.
that's
Uh,
another episode we should do.
well, you actually know about her kind of. So remember when I talked about the nursing major girl
Yes.
who um who I ended up hooking up with at a bar and during my friend's birthday or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I mentioned the part of like, by Tuesday we had like hooked up at the bar. By Thursday she was like, come over and see
Mm-hmm.
me. Come over
Yeah.
and see me, we'll have dinner and stuff. Well, actually that was never her idea, it was her roommate's idea. Roommate's like,
Mm.
oh, you should bring Ricky over. Blah 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 blah. And I ended up a lot of the time, even though I was really into this chick, like she was, even like aesthetically, she was dope as fuck. Like she was nursing, former Division One basketball player, like former cheerleader, like just like stacked body. Like you couldn't get more perfect than this. Ever.
Okay.
Caked up her face like makeup though, but still. Um, I would end up like walking. I would end up leaving her apartment looking like Two Face. Um,
Whew.
because I like there was so much white on one side of my face. Oh
Oh, I could see. Does her pillowcase have makeup all over it?
no, my
Like,
face did.
well, your face did, though.
Yeah,
You did.
my face did. So anywho, her roommate, it was really weird. Her roommate ended up being a lot of the time being the orchestrator of me coming over and seeing her, but I would also click with the roommate a lot more.
Just somehow I met your mother shit.
So what ended up happening was obviously me and the nurse broke things up. Well, she screwed me over,
Mm-hmm.
um, which I got really, really pissed at. I've never seen her since.
Okay.
Um, the way that story ended was this all happened around like spring of my senior year, and I knew I was already going back to New York, and she was staying down in Maryland, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
because she still had another year left, and I knew this was going to end, and I saw the end in sight. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time I didn't think distance was even a plausible thing. Exactly, Archie. So I
Sorry,
didn't.
there's like a really loud truck.
It's fine. But yeah, at that time I didn't think distance was a plausible thing. Little did I know, like 10 years fucking later.
Mm-hmm.
But so I was like, all right, I want this to end, and in my mind I was like, all right, let's have this end. Let's just have one more day together, and just like end everything and be like, hey, it was fun, but now we have to kind of go our separate ways. I'm graduating. You're obviously still staying down here, which I should have been like, oh, I'll just still come visit you. But I wasn't thinking like that. I was like, all right, things are about to change dramatically. Um, and so let's just have this like nice day together. So I cleared my schedule.
Oh,
I was free the entire day for her, and she no showed.
what a cunt.
She no showed.
What
Um,
a cunt.
so I knew how to get her back.
How?
I knew exactly how to get her back. I left like I called her when I knew she was deliberately sleeping.
Mm.
Uh,
Wow.
and I left a message being like, all I asked you was for one day and you couldn't give me that, and like I hung up the phone.
Oof. Did she respond?
She responded the next morning. She's like, hey, I want to make it up to you. You know, are you available today? And I was like, sorry, I had cleared my schedule for you yesterday. I'm busy all day. There's nothing I can do.
Nice.
Never saw her again. Um, lo and behold, the next guy she ended up seeing after me is her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bitch,
So
they pray.
how does the roommate file into all of this? Well, obviously the roommate knows about everything, and it ended up becoming towards literally as like school's ending and I'm graduating and stuff. Me and her roommate start becoming really close friends, exchanging numbers. I end up talking to her a lot more throughout my summer as I have returned to New York.
Mm-hmm.
When her and our mutual friend Sarah, who she met in nursing school, and I knew since high school. She came to visit Sarah over the summer break.
Okay.
And we all got. It was me and my friend Vaughn were out, and then we got a text from Sarah. She's like, "Oh, me and Liz is her name, is here, and we have a bottle of tequila." And so we stopped going to the bar. We went over her house.
Yeah.
And it was just the moment, like, Liz was drunk, and like when Liz is drunk, she's very affectionate. And
Gotcha.
like I forgot we were driving somewhere to get like orange juice and like screwdrivers, and I'm the one driving. Um, and she's literally like sitting behind me, but like she literally like wrapped her arms around me from the back seat. It was like, hi. And so then, like, obviously one thing led to another. When we got back, Sarah and my friend Vaughn were away. And it was just me and her, and I went for it, and it was fan-fucking-tastic. It also felt like, yeah, no, it was great. It was perfect. And then she stopped. She's like, we can't. I was like, why the fuck not? She's like, because you were just messing with my roommate a month ago. And I was like, oh.
Damn.
Yeah.
That sucks, though.
That's whatever. I will never tell her this, and she'll never probably ever see this. But yeah, she was absolutely fantastic. It was great. It was natural. It was one of those relationships that never was. It was, oh my god, that's gonna be a
That's gonna be a sad episode.
That's gonna be an episode. But yeah, she was a unique one. Nursing. Obviously, she's a traveling nurse now. Um, she lives in California at the moment, I think, and she really likes chocolate. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
But she's blonde haired, very like bright blonde, very pale, like very blue, like pure blue eyes. Originally from Miami,
What?
like no tan at all.
Okay.
Like no tan at all whatsoever. But she was probably the best kisser ever. And also probably too happy for her own fucking good, but that's just me. There's a while when we did not talk for a long time.
Yeah.
But we're okay now.
That's good, at least.
Sometimes I have good stories.
Sometimes.
Sometimes they end well. Most of the time they don't.
This isn't a happy ending. It's just like an ending.
Yeah, it was an ending.
It's whelming.
Yeah, it's whelming. Very, very whelming. I mean, ironically, when we'll get into more about my girlfriend of disaster story, we can do a whole series on that. That story actually has an interesting ending.
Ah.
Very interesting ending. As in, it was one of those things where like you think I'll hint about it. It's one of those things where you think you're over a person after years, and then you get that one phone call on a rainy day, and you pick it up, and they're like, "I'm so and so. Can you come get me?" And I'm like, "I'll be right there."
Yep.
And that's what happened one day.
Scandal.
The unexpected phone call, and I was like, "What's up?" And she was like, "Can you come get me? I'm stranded at such and such a place." And I'll tell that story a completely different time.
Different day.
Different day, different scenario, but it does tie into a whole nother part of life and a lot of college stuff too.
I'm enjoying this Marvel Cinematic Universe of hoes you have.
Oh my god, I've never explained it in such a way, but yes.
You have the Marvel Cinematic Universe of hoes.
I got an MCU of hoes. I'm tweeting this. I'm tweeting. So good. That's so good.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I gotta put them into phases now.
Yeah. So your homework during the week is to put your hoes in phases.
Cause yes, I can. Oh my god, it's gonna be really hard.
And this can change it, make a whole new narrative for your blog.
Oh my god, I need to get back to that. I mean, well, because I wasn't gonna talk about my Hodom stuff anymore. Like I ended that For an actual reason.
But if you ever choose to talk about your hose again, now you have a new format.
Now, the way it ended was so good.
It was.
You read that part?
I did.
Oh, ew. We're gonna have to talk about this off air. I don't know how much you've read about me.
To be fair, I read everything really stoned. I have never actually read it not stoned.
And you don't remember any of this?
Not a whole lot.
God. Okay. So, but yeah, if you want to listen more or read more about my whole life, find my blog. It's called Ambiguous Consumption. Well, no, it's called Ambiguous. The website is ambiguousconsumption.wordpress.org. And maybe if you Patreon people are lucky, I will actually maybe post some of that on the Patreon. Probably not. But we'll see if anybody poses any interest at all about any of that stuff. Maybe Slack will, so Slack can stop thinking that I'm some sort of pompous asshole.
I feel like no matter what, Slack is always going to think you're a pompous asshole, though.
Which is perfectly fine with me. I like playing the character sometimes.
Hey, Slack! Hey, Slack! How's your pilot coming?
Take over Tampa's. Take over Tampa's like 2 weeks away, and I haven't heard shit. Actually, yeah, Slack, focus on your pilot more so than the Chronicles of Rickie. Oh. And stuff. So yeah, but let's get the show in a row. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Because obviously, Elimination Chamber is tonight. Which Kate means you have to get your bed ready.
My bed is freshly made. Thank you very much.
Freshly made from the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so let's get the show on the road. This has been Love and War. This is 4 now. This is
it's episode 4 already. Shit.
It is episode 4. What do we
exciting.
call this? It started with a kiss. It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss. Yes, I'm your co-host King Rickie Rozay, aka the unemotional love magnet. You can find me at Ambassador Biggs, BIGG Ambassador Biggs, across all social media outlets: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Some people's DMs, less people's text messages. At Ambassador Biggs, BIGZ Ambassador Biggs. Kate, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at the Kate Murphy. You can find me on Twitter at the Kate Murphy _. And that's it. You can find me in my bed for the rest of the day because I feel like garbage.
Yeah, you can find me, obviously as a GM of Wrestle Addict Radio and all of our other stuff. You guys already know that because you guys are part of our Patreon group. But just, and just look out for our merch coming. WrestleMania is coming. A lot of madness and things are happening. What I can reveal to you right now is that merch is coming sooner than you think. Probably as soon as this episode drops. We'll see. With that being said, anything else, Kate?
I think that's it.
All right, perfect.
There's another drag race happening outside, it seems. So that's my cue to go watch more Drag Race. I'm on season 7 now.
God, anyway, we're gonna get going. Thank you, Patreon people. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye, y'all.
Toodles.